Learn Efficient Pharmacology, Pharmacokinetics Part 6, Introduction to Elimination. We saw that the body considers a drug as a xenobiotic or a foreign molecule that is likely to cause harm. So, from the body's point of view, a drug entering the systemic circulation must be removed or eliminated at the earliest. What options does the body have to expel a drug? Urine and feces, obviously. For volatile agents, exhaled air is an option. Minor quantities may be excreted in other body fluids like sweat, saliva, or tears. The most important of these, obviously, is the urine. So let's focus on the kidney. The basic structural and functional unit of the kidney is the nephron. Here is a quick recap of the anatomy. These are the parts of the nephron, and this is the vascular network of the nephron. Pause the video if you need to. A drug that is delivered through the efferent arteriole to the glomerulus can enter the tubular fluid by filtration. Even if a xenobiotic was not filtered at the glomerulus, the body has another option to excrete it. The unfiltered drug molecules move through the efferent arteriole into the peritubular capillaries. From here, the drug can be secreted into the tubular lumen. So, there are two processes by which a xenobiotic enters the tubular lumen: glomerular filtration and tubular secretion. Now, what if the drug molecule in the tubular lumen is lipid soluble? It can move back into the peritubular capillaries along the concentration gradient by simple diffusion. We know that this requires no energy. Thus, even if a lipid-soluble drug reaches the tubular lumen, much of it can go back into circulation due to tubular reabsorption. In other words, the excretion of a drug will be inefficient if it remains lipid-soluble. Lipid-soluble xenobiotics pose another problem. It can easily cross the cell membrane to enter and accumulate in the tissues. Thus, lipid-soluble molecules tend to distribute into tissues and cannot be efficiently excreted. So, it continues to remain in the body and may cause toxicity. On the other hand, for a polar molecule or an ion, this is not a problem. We have seen in the video series on passage of drugs across the plasma membranes that large polar molecules and ions cannot cross the lipid bilayer by simple diffusion. So, a polar molecule is less likely to move into tissues, and once it reaches the tubular lumen, it is unlikely to be reabsorbed and can therefore be easily excreted. Clearly, if the body can convert the lipid-soluble xenobiotic into a polar form, it can be efficiently excreted. This conversion into a polar form involves a structural transformation of the molecule in the body. So it is called xenobiotic biotransformation. This is carried out primarily in the liver. From a pharmacological perspective, this is drug biotransformation or simply drug metabolism. Here, when an active drug undergoes a change in structure, it typically loses its activity. But interestingly, a molecule that starts off as inactive can sometimes be activated through biotransformation. Such drugs are called prodrugs. The possibility also exists that an active drug has a metabolite that is active too. The point is, with drug metabolism, all these outcomes are possible. Now, what if a drug is already polar or ionic? It might not be extensively metabolized like a highly lipid-soluble drug and can often be excreted without biotransformation. So, to summarize, biotransformation converts a xenobiotic into a more water-soluble form so that it can be more efficiently excreted. Through this process, a drug is usually inactivated. However, it can also result in the activation of a prodrug or conversion of an active drug into an active metabolite. So, an administered drug can be removed from circulation either by excreting the unchanged form, or by metabolizing it and excreting the metabolite, or by a combination of these processes. So, metabolism and excretion are together known as elimination. Here are some good to know facts. In the next video, we will discuss hepatic metabolism in detail.